Okay guys, let's get into it, or should I say boys and girls. There's actually a few female followers on this channel. They let me know about it, and they're probably putting out better predictions than us guys, so respect to that. So welcome back to the channel of Football Predictions. Today I'm going to be giving out picks specifically for Thursday. We got Europa League and Conference League. If you're a newcomer here, I suggest that you start betting on goals instead of outcomes of games, and on single games, maximum doubles instead of the huge accumulators. And let's get into the picks that we had in the previous video. The Champions League one for Tuesday. I'm recording this as usual after the games. First pick, we had Lazio over 1.5. I'm sure a lot of you were sweating. Me too. I thought the bet was gone because after the 18th minute, it was 0-0. And Lazio is usually the type of team that needs an early goal to score the second one. But they managed. Shout out to Ciro Immobile, 2 goals after the 18th minute. So they won us that bet. Then we had a bet from the same group, Feyenoord against Atletico. As I said, Atletico is the more experienced team in these situations. They took the W, Feyenoord choked under pressure, and we had Atletico over 1 goal specifically. And for the third pick, we had Shakhtar against Antwerp. That's the only pick that didn't go through by 1 goal. We had Shakhtar over 1.5, and they managed to score in the 12th minute. They had a couple of great chances. They were content with the result. Same thing they did against Barcelona, a strategic 1-0 win, and now they're in a great position. Well, I wouldn't say great because they have to go to Porto now, which lost. So they're both at 9 points, and usually you lose games in Portugal against Porto. And for the last pick, we had Dortmund just to score against Milan, the blacklisted Milan. And they managed to score 3 of them. And shout out to Dortmund. Not many people gave them a chance to qualify in this group, but they did it in first place. As for the other results, some of you were asking me and telling me to take the Leipzig Man City BTTS game. And I didn't want to because I don't like betting on Man City specifically, but you guys were right. They were great odds. And now it's easy to say that I missed out on that one, but it was a great pick. And Leipzig almost managed to win that game, even though they lost it. 1 goal was cancelled. They could have taken a 3-2 lead. And that was a great game. Now, let's start off with the Europa League as usual. Molde against Qarabag in Group H. Both of those teams are sitting at 6 points, so the situation is pretty clear. Whoever wins this game will most likely qualify. And Molde have a tougher road ahead because they have to travel to Leverkusen for the last game. So this makes it a must-win for them. They're back to their winning games because they had a drought. They lost 5 games in a row at one point, but now they have 3 consecutive victories and they score a lot of goals, and there are 10 goals scored in those games. And their opponent Qarabag is actually a tough one because they're the only team that Leverkusen didn't manage to score over 1.5 goals all season long. And the situation here is pretty interesting because Qarabag had a 6-point lead over Molde, and Molde came back in the last 2 games while Qarabag lost both games to Leverkusen. But you know what? As of late, with the way Molde has been performing and scoring goals, I gotta go with the home team here. The odds are currently 186 for over 1.5 goals on Molde, so this will be my first tip that Molde will be scoring over 1.5 goals against Qarabag. Now for the second tip, let's head to Group E, a game between Toulouse and Union, not Berlin, Union Saint-Gilloise. There was a huge swing last round because nobody expected Toulouse to win against Liverpool and nobody expected Union to lose against LASK. Well, that's debatable. But overall, Toulouse beat Liverpool 3-2 and LASK absolutely dominated, destroyed Union 3-0. And that's why Toulouse is currently 3 points ahead of Union, and that's why it makes it a must-win game for Union. Listen, I don't know the outcome of this game. I can't predict it, but I think that Union will be scoring at least 1 goal. So my second tip for you guys will be over 1 goal on Union. The odds are currently at 161. Now for a third tip, let's head to Group D, a game between Sturm Graz and Rakow. Sturm Graz are sitting currently with only 4 points, but they still have a chance to qualify. They're 3 points behind Sporting, and Atalanta and Sporting are facing off each other. So somebody's going to be losing points, but hopefully for Sturm Graz, that's going to be Sporting. So they're rooting for Atalanta. And their opponent Rakow has only 1 point in the group, and they have been mid as of late. They only have 2 points in the last 3 games. And Sturm Graz is coming off 2 victories. They're actually second place in the Austrian league. They have the same amount of points as Salzburg, and they're playing at home. It won't be an easy game, but again, I have to go with the more desperate teams, the teams that need to win this game. So my third tip is to go Sturm Graz over 1.5 goals. The odds are really good. It's almost at 2. It's currently at 195. So that's my third tip. Now for the final tip in the Europa League, let's head to Group C, a game between Sparta Prague and Betis. I think this is a pick a lot of you will disagree with, but hear me out. I'm actually surprised to see Sparta Prague in this position. They only got 4 points in 4 games in the group, only 1 point in the last 3 games. And Sparta Prague is a really good team. They're dominating the Czech league as usual with Slavia Prague. And in the last 9 home games, they have 8 victories and only 1 draw. And there's one stat that I like is that they haven't conceded in 4 games. So potentially we could go BTTS here, considering with how Betis has been scoring. In fact, Betis has scored in 13 consecutive games in this season. That's a bit unlike Betis because they usually play low scoring games. And but you know what? I gotta go here with the home team Sparta Prague. I still believe they have a chance in this group if they manage to win this game. And I will be riding with over 1 goal. Odds are not great, it's at 145 currently, but with the way Sparta Prague has been scoring at home and dominating teams, I gotta go with Sparta Prague over 1 goal. Okay, let's start with the Conference League. Let's head to Group F, a game between Čukarički and Ferencváros. Čukarički is out, 0 points, only 1 goal scored, and that was against actually Ferencváros. Otherwise, this group is interesting. Genk, Ferencváros, and Fiorentina still haven't lost a game, and they all have a possibility to qualify. There's a huge game between Fiorentina and Genk. That's why Ferencváros has to use this possibility to win some points on both of those teams. And this Čukarički team hasn't been great at all. In the last 5 home games, 3 losses and only 2 draws. And Ferencváros would be in a better position, but they're coming off 3 straight losses. And stat that I like here, they haven't scored over 1 goal in 4 consecutive games. And as I said, this game is huge for them because their last game is going to be against Fiorentina. So we're going to be taking Ferencváros over 1.5 goals against Čukarički. Now for the second tip, let's head to Group H, a game between Fenerbahce and Nordsjælland. Another great group, still possibility of 3 teams qualifying because Ludogorets is only 1 point away from Nordsjælland. And Nordsjælland hasn't been performing well, only 2 points in the last 3 games. And they got blanked in the last 2 Danish games, which is pretty rare. And Fenerbahce won their last game, but besides that, they were also in a bit of a slump. These 2 teams are high scoring. I think BTTS here is not a bad option, but I don't think Nordsjælland is going to go 3 games without scoring a goal. That's why my tip for you guys will be is to go with Nordsjælland over 1 goal against Fenerbahce. I know a lot of you will also disagree with this pick, but pick also for yourself. So odds are 160 for Nordsjælland to score over 1 goal against Fenerbahce. For the third tip, we head to Group A game between Klaksvik and Slovan Bratislava. This is in or out for Klaksvik. They need a victory here. They're currently 3 points behind Slovan Bratislava, but they won't get it. I did a mistake last time on taking Klaksvik to score against Ljubljana. They didn't manage. They lost that game 2-0. And it's pretty simple here. Slovan Bratislava is the better team. They're a great away team. They won 8 out of the 9 games they played in. Their only loss came against Lille, which is first in the group. So my tip here would be to ride with Slovan Bratislava over 1.5 goals. The bookies are currently giving us odds 190, which is pretty decent. And the only risk here is I hope they don't pull off a 1-0 stinker win because it is the 5th round. So there are going to be marginal victories here. But my tip would be over 1.5. So let's close this out. In Group D, a game between Bodo and Lugano. Another vital game. First game between those 2 teams was 0-0, pretty lame. And in fact, Bodo being a high-scoring team, they went back-to-back games without scoring a goal in this group. But they managed to bounce back and win 2 huge games against Besiktas. And now if they take care of business against Lugano, they're through. And to be honest with you, Lugano should not be in this position at all. No disrespect though. And I just see Bodo as a superior team. They score a lot, and especially at home, they won 8 out of the 9 games they played in. So the odds here are low, but I do think Bodo is going to be scoring over 1.5. And the bookies are giving us odds only 142. So that's my final tip. Guys, this is it. 8 tips in total. Feel free to take them. Feel free to avoid them so I don't get blamed. And if you support this channel, hit the thumbs up. Always provide you with the necessary information. I hope so. And comment down your predictions for Thursday. I'll be checking that out and commenting back as usual. And I'm going to be releasing a video in 2 days for the weekend. I'm going to cover all the domestic leagues going on. So I'll be seeing you very soon. Bet responsibly, stay healthy, and adios.